We're at the Hustler Live and we get into the biggest pots of our life by far, bar none. Insane hands.
Buckle up.
And there's a lot of them. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hustler Casino Live vlog. My first appearance on Max Payne Monday, and it is a crazy one. Every single pot you're about to see from my end is over $1,500. So with that, let's get started. First hand, we see DGAF limp under the gun for $40. We overlimp pocket threes and +1. And Sashimi limps a premium on the button, and Frankie checks his option off to a flop a lot of ways, which comes 10-4-3 rainbow. Yes, we start Hustler by binking a set. Happens one every 8 times, but the poker gods are feeling me today. It checks to me, and we are going to bet our set. I go 1/3 pot on a dry board, $80. Sashimi then comes in for the raise to 300, the dream. Folds to DGAF, who makes the call, and it's decision time. I think given this board texture, call is the best play here. Re-raising seems a little face up and would get too much to fold. So we call, and we're off to a turn 3 ways with 1130 in the pot. And it is the 10 of diamonds. We bowed up, just the dream start to the session. And better yet, DGAF now takes the betting lead from Sashimi and bets half pot, $610. I now have this board pretty locked up. I want draws and flushes to get there now rather than fearing them before. So I just call, and Sashimi actually makes a solid laydown with her 10 rag. We go heads up to the river, which is an offsuit ace. DGAF checks, there's $2,350 in the middle, and now it's time for a value bet. I decide it's best to target a 10 here, given DGAF's strong line. If he has one, which would make a lot of sense, we'll get paid. So I placed the biggest wager in the history of my career. Keep watching the vlog as this record will be beaten probably 50 times. $2,000 is my sizing, and DJF makes the laydown. No 10 on his end, but we win $1,400 early.
What a start for the kid in his first ever Hustler live stream. My first hand, Julia calls 40, our buddy Nick Austin raises to $220, and I look down at 7-deuce of spades. We're playing the 7-deuce bounty game, which means if I win with this hand, everyone at the table has to pay me $100. That's an extra $800 in the middle that we're definitely going to go for. I 3-bet Nick to $800, and Nick makes the call. Flop comes ace, king, queen, so he connects pretty well, and this is a board that's good for my range. I gotta bet this. I make it $200 to go, hoping he folds out hands like 7s, 8s, 9s, hands that just hate this flop, but Nick makes the call because he likes his flop. The turn is the 4 of hearts, and at this point, I just give it up. I check, Nick bets $800, I snap fold. The worst part is getting needled by DJF right after the hand.
Yeah. Sia, were you impressed?
What?
Were you impressed by that? Was it impressive?
A little bit.
A little bit, right?
If she saw my hand, she'd be impressed.
Here we see Wolfgang open it up under the gun to $120, and Frankie calls on the button. We wake up with pocket 9s in the small blind. Normally, I think this is a 3-bet spot for sure a lot of the time. However, when dissecting the Max Payne lineup, the 2 people in this hand right now are the 2 tightest, and Wolfgang is under the gun. I do not necessarily want to be isolating these 2 players and potentially running into a Wolfgang under the gun monster. So I elect to just call in hopes that some other players will tag along. Sure enough, Julia tags along in the $40 blind, and we go 4 ways out of position to a flop of 8-7-4 rainbow. I honestly debate donking here, but I still want to proceed with caution versus Wolfgang's under the gun open. I check. Julia, however, takes the lead and donks into this multi-way pot for $400. Folds to me, and we make the call. Off to a turn with $1,300 at stake, and it's an offsuit jack. And I check, and she continues telling a powerful story with an essentially pot-sized bet of $1,200. Yikes. She donked in a 4-way pot and is now continuing to blast. We pick up a gutter, so I think we can peel one more and reevaluate a river. We make the correct call, and here we go. The river is an offsuit king. We're downgraded to 3rd pair, and we check. And she fires that triple barrel for $1,600. I wish my X-ray vision could activate. Her line is just so strong though, donking into 3 people, then pot on the turn, then a value-y size on the river. I decide that this isn't our spot and make the fold. Nice play, Julia.
Definitely got to give a little props to Julia there. She was bluffing a lot, but they were working so often that no one was seeing how loose she was playing. She did a really good job. The cutoff makes it 120 in this hand. Button makes the call. I look down at ace-7 of hearts in the small blind. When Sia just calls, I'm thinking that she's got a pretty weak range. She's definitely capped. I make it $520 to go, and unfortunately, the Bronx Bomber and I Only Go to Straddle wakes up with a good hand, pocket tens. He cold calls the 520, which is pretty strong. He's been playing a relatively snug range, so I'm worried about his range. I'm putting him on like ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, and then middle of pocket pairs like he has. Flop comes 4-3-9. We flop nothing, but I think that a big bet will get hands like ace jack, ace queen, ace 10 suited to fold. So I make it $800 to go, and honestly things haven't been going too well for me. I'm down a couple thousand up that 2-7 hand, and man, this felt good. What a momentum swing we needed. When he makes the fold here with pocket tens, he just put us on pocket kings and just, yeah, made a big fold against us. Our tight image works, and like I said, this really started to swing things around for me.
Before this hand starts, a fun thing we're going to start doing is giving away $10 to a lucky commenter every single vlog. All you have to do, comment. Something you liked about the video, something you didn't like, compliment our play, roast our play, tell us a joke, whatever you want. One of you is going to win $10 every single week. Here we see Nick limp under the gun, and Frankie opens it up in the hijack to $150. DJF calls in the cutoff, and we look down at ace-5 of clubs on the button. I elect to flat here, facing an under-the-gun limp and Frankie open. It would just suck to get blown off this hand if we 3-bet and then get 4-bet by very capable ranges. We're in the best position. Let's see a flop. Sashimi calls from the $40 blind, and Nick calls as well. So we go 5 ways to a flop of jack 6-3 with 2 clubs. Nick donks for just $100, 1/8 pot, an interesting bet from him, and DJF raises to $300, and now it's on us. We've got the nut flush draw, you know we've got a super tight image, and we have some small bets in front of us. Let's attack. I 3-bet the flop to $1,000 as a semi-bluff, the biggest flop semi-bluff of my life, and with just a 36% chance to win the hand normally, we see this go fold, fold, fold. Let's go.
Rosie came to play, and I, for one, cannot be more proud of the kid. I'm in the big blind with pocket eights. Julia raises to $200. I make the call, and Billy DJF makes the call as well. We're 3 ways to a flop, which comes king, jack, 8. Let's go. I check to the aggressor, and unfortunately, Julia checks this one back. The turn is the 7 of spades. I think it's pretty standard to lead here, just trying to get value from flush draws and pairs, but I check, going for a check raise, and Julia picked up the flush draw, but didn't bet it. Unfortunate for us. The river, though, is the ace of hearts. Again, seems like a spot I should lead, but I go for the check raise option. The 3rd time I've checked this hand, very unconventional line, and thankfully, Julia puts in a bet of $200. Now, let's see how much money we can milk out of her. I decide to go $800, and when it folds back to her, she doesn't beat much, but she gets curious and makes the call. We show pocket eights, and we are good, taking home a nice little pot.
The straddle to $80 is on here. We see Frankie in the cutoff open to $250, and DJF calls on the button. And we look down at ace-7 of clubs on the small blind. We like to play the small blind generally as a 3-bet or fold most of the time. Frankie's cutoff opening range is one of his widest ranges. DJF is dead money for just calling in between, and the straddle's out there too. I see a lot of money up for grabs. Let's try to use our image again and capitalize. I go for now the biggest 3-bet pre-flop bluff in my career and bump it up to $1,000. And it goes fold, fold, fold. Wow, such a sick spot, and we win over $600 with this play.
Hold up. Knock. Rewind that tape. Did I just fold ace queen to Rosie's 3-bet when he had ace 7? Okay, guys, in my head, I was thinking that Rosie is just super strong here. I thought with hands like ace 10 suited, even ace jack suited, even ace queen suited, he's just gonna flatten the small blind versus my raise. I would never think that he would go for this play. So Rosie, you proved me wrong. You really outdid yourself. Great play, and a hand that I definitely should be calling. That was a mistake on my part as well. Next hand, I'm in the button with 7-6 is suited. Sashimi makes it $140 to go. Sia in the cutoff makes the call, and at this point she's got a super capped range, so I decided to 3-bet to $550. Sashimi's also raising pretty light, but Maybe it's not the best hand to do it with because Sashimi also likes to 4-bet. I'm on the button, I could have just called. But Sashimi calls, so we have the aggression going to a flop, which comes king 10-6. We outflop her, and now I just have to decide whether I want to bet or check. I think a small bet with my range here makes a ton of sense, but I was thinking in the moment I just want to check my bottom pair and get a little closer to showdown, so she doesn't go for a check raise. The turn comes the jack of spades. She checks again. We had 90% chance to win. She picked up a couple outs. I'm just trying to inch my way closer to showdown. I check it back, and the river is the disgusting queen of diamonds. It's no spade, but it puts a 4-liner on the board. She picked up the straight. She checks. Again, I'm deciding whether to bluff or not. I've got no idea where I'm at in this hand, so I just check it back, and unfortunately, Sashimi wins.
Here we see Sia open it up in under the gun +2 to $120. DJF in the cutoff 3-bets to 410. And we wake up with pocket jellos on the button. Jack here with us in spirit. Now, we're facing a wider 3-bet range from DJF. So I like a 4-bet for value with the jacks here. I make it $950 and only DJF makes the call. We're off to a flop heads up with over $2,000 in the middle. And it comes 10-9-3 rainbow. He checks. We flopped an overpair, which is great. 10s and 9s do pass us, which are definitely in his 4-bet flat range, but I think we still c-bet here. Our standard small sizing, I make it $600, and he makes the call. Off to a turn with now over $3,300 at stake, and it's the 5 of diamonds, second diamond. He checks, and I glance over at his chip stack and begin counting. He's got around $2,000. The graphics are slightly off, aka a perfect size for us to just unload the clip in what will be the biggest pot of our life. We rip it all in for $2,010. The pot has surpassed $5,000, and we get to cut to a different angle in a sec. My mom was watching the entire stream with my dad, and I guess she forgot that we get a copy of the stream to make the vlog, so she basically just Snapchatted the entire thing to make sure I'd have the footage. Thank you, Mom. So we get to hear her and my dad's commentary in some of the crazy spots we will see tonight, the first one being right now. So let's tune into the mom cam.
How long does he get to think about it?
As long as he puts effort before he makes the call, he doesn't do it.
So how much did he win?
We profited 1760 that hand, Mom. Let's go. The very next hand dealt, we see DJF open to $120 in the hijack, and we've got 9-8 of hearts in the cutoff. Now, this is one of those spots where I've been learning to 3-bet linearly. I don't want to just flat and let the button take position from me or open myself up to getting squeezed out of this hand. 9-8 of hearts is a fun one to do this with, as we can rep the monsters on big flops, and we will often connect with the low ones. So I make it 3 times, his raise, $360, and DJF is the only caller. We're up to a flop heads up in position, which comes 7-deuce 3 rainbow with a heart. DJF checks, we flop backdoor straight and flush draws along with 2 overs. We go for the c-bet to the tune of $250, though I think a bigger sizing would be better in this specific spot, but I have some fun plans for a lot of turn cards. The turn, with $1,300 at stake, is an offsuit 10. DJF checks, and we pick up an open ender. The plan has been activated. Now let's tune into the mom cam for a sec to see what she thinks about this bluff line.
Does the other guy have anything?
The other guy's got nothing, but...
Well, then why are they giving him
Because
69%?
Matthew doesn't have anything either. Yet.
Oh, okay.
For cents do not matter if you can fake it till you make it, Mom. I do think another sizing mistake occurs here, though. I should have counted DJF's chip stack better. He's got about a pot-sized bet left here, so I think I like a bigger flop bet and then a turn jam in hindsight. I go for $400 here, which is enough to get the job done, and our bluff takes it down.
I love seeing the clips of Rosie's mom. I was there for the post-stream FaceTime, and she was so excited and happy for us. It was honestly a really good feeling, and I'm super happy for Rosie. I looked down under the gun after I just put in $2,000 more in my stack, in for $8,000, as we peel pocket freaking aces. What a time to be alive. I raised to $140 in a super juicy game. Julia in the cutoff calls $140, and our best friend Sashimi makes it $600 to go with ace king. I am licking my lips. I go for a pretty small 4-bet. I'm a little shaky here. I make it $1340 to go, just trying to get it all in, giving me the option to raise, and She obliges, she goes all in, and we do not snap call, which means we're going for the Max Payne slow roll.
He's tanking. He's gonna slow roll. Let's let him work.
Put me on, Sashimi.
Call. How much? 13.
All right, Frankie.
1340? 1340.
Nice. Take your time. Take your time. Cool it. There you go. The breathing.
All right, twice. Twice.
Oh, Sashimi might think something's up now. Look at
You have the
Sashimi.
green?
Twice.
Sashimi doesn't like this. She needs to hit a Broadway. She needs jacks, queens, and tens. Needs to go jack, queen. He has a 1 in 50 chance of winning this, and now a 0% chance. So let's see the slow roll, Frankie. Let's see it.
No, that's jacks.
There we go.
So we win, and she shows ace king. I show one ace. Look disappointed, trying to represent ace queen, and show the second ace. We win. Let me know how my acting job was there. I definitely feel bad about slow rolling. I'm not like a normal slow roller, but trust me, it's a part of this game, and we're happy to win one of the biggest pots of our entire life. We got more coming. I promise you, more on the way.
Here we see Julia under the gun open to $200, Sia on the button calls, and we complete in the big blind with King 10 of diamonds. Off to a flop 3 ways, which comes deuce 5-3 all diamonds. Oh my god. We check, Julia continues for $200, and Sia folds. I am not slow playing this. There's tons of value to be had from other hands, so we go for the check raise to 600. Julia thinks about it and goes for the re-raise to $2,200. This is absolute insanity. Now, in the moment, I do not want to 4-bet and have her fold value hands like weaker flushes or sets. That would be a disaster. So we just smooth call a cool $2,200 on the flop. The turn, with $5,000 at stake, is an offsuit 7. We go for the sneaky check to her, and Julia bets $4,000 into $5,000. This is now the biggest pot of my entire life, and it's about to get bigger. If she has the ace high flush, it's been nice knowing you guys. Next Gen Poker was a fun ride, but let's tune in to the live feed here.
And Rosie's going to get the full double up. Suffice a 6 of diamonds or an ace of diamonds. Here we go. One time, Max Payne. Oh, that is news to Rosie's ears.
No ace of diamonds or 6 of diamonds.
No ace of diamonds, no 6 of diamonds, Rosie. I'm here for you with that. Oh, the 6 of hearts. Oh, for a moment. Yeah, I think it got Rosie too.
Shut up. Did he just win $9,000? Somebody needs a cocktail and a cigarette right now.
Thank you, Mom and Dad. I still get shaky watching this one back. My previous biggest pot before today was probably close to $3,000. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this next gen journey. Seriously, it means the world. Now, let's see what happens next. Julia puts an audible on this hand and changes the $40 to a $200 straddle. Nick limps in the hijack, and we have pocket 9s in the small blind. We are going to open this up. I raise to $800, and both players make the call. Off to a flop, which comes 7-8-7 2 diamonds. We flop and overpair. We do have a hand that blocks a lot of our opponent's weaker continues from a straight draw and flush draw perspective. Hands like 10-9, 9-6, Jack-9, and diamond holdings are reduced. We c-bet though, c-bet smaller, just $700, and only Julia makes the call. Off to a turn with $3,800 in the pot, and it's an offsuit jack. An overcard to our 9s, we slow down and check. And Julia bets $2,000, a little more than half pot. Now, from watching Julia at the table thus far, from my perspective, we've only seen her show down super strong hands. I don't have the benefit of having known her prior bluff against me was a bluff. We started this hand multi-way, so I weight her more towards value holdings. Nevertheless, I think this should still be a call, at least on the turn, and then we reevaluate a river. This is now currently the second biggest pot of my life, and I, unfortunately, make the incorrect fold based on my perceived read on her player type. Nice play, Julia. Maybe we've got one more wild one in the tank.
Rosie's right. There's one more huge hand this episode coming up, but let's get to my last hand of the night. I look down in the big blind at pocket fours. Julia raises to 200. Button makes the call. I make the call, and we're 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes ace 8-2. I check to the aggressor. Julia doesn't look too happy with this flop. She checks, and Nick also checks. They didn't seem very interested, and when the turn comes in a low card, the 6 of diamonds, I think I actually have the best hand. I make it $220 to go, see where we're at, and Julia makes the call, and Nick makes the call. So I don't know where I'm at, but I know, or I'm pretty sure they don't have an ace. The river is the 5 of hearts. I block straights. I don't think I'm good right now. I think she's got some type of big pocket pair that's not an ace. And I know I don't know if she has pocket kings, but I know something like it. And I decide to bet half pot, which looks pretty value heavy, and it works. Julia makes the fold. Nick can't call this 10 high, and we got to show pocket fours. Give Julia back a little bit that she's bluffed us so far. Nice playing with you.
Another audible from Julia here. She's putting in $200 in the middle, blind, every hand as an ante now. So we're playing 10, 20, 40 with a $200 Julia ante. Frankie limps $40 under the gun, and we look down at the ladies and under the gun +1. We open it up to $400. Bronx Bomber calls in the hijack, and let's tune in to see what Sashimi does.
Yeah,
Maybe
pretty astounding.
you overly slow played that.
Well, here's the thing.
This one? We know this.
Oh, that's good. The reason why I'm playing.
Yup, she goes for the 18x 3-bet jam for $7,390. Nick correctly lets go of the ace queen, and it's back on us. There are only 2 hands in poker that we are losing to, and I think that neither aces nor kings would just jam this big and risk losing value. So for that reason, I think pocket queens is pretty nutted. I take a deep breath and rejam all in. Bronx Bomber folds, and we are in fact ahead against ace king, but reality quickly sets in that I am about to flip a coin for $16,000.
Oh boy, Rosie. Don't look. Clean. No ace, no king. No ace, no king. No ace, no king. One time. One freaking time. Look at both of them up there. Look at them. They are feeling it together. He's blocking Rosie's eyes.
This is a very dramatic river.
Oh.
Yes.
Reverse binked. He dodges all of it. Rosie. $24,000 sitting in front of him right now.
Slow roller.
Sashimi has left the table, and I take my first breath in the past 60 seconds as my stack surpasses $24,000. Just an unbelievable end to an unbelievable day. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video and for all of the kind words sent to me this past couple of weeks. I love all of you guys, and now let's go hear our final cash outs.
How much are you holding? How much is that baby worth?
We're holding.
Are you gonna say an amount that's a car amount?
I'm not gonna say the amount out loud.
Okay. I can't believe that we were actually about to tell the vlog this after they've watched us from the very start, from the hideaway days all the way up to Poker House, playing 2-5 consistently. I'm very, very excited to let you guys know that I bought in for $9,000 and I cashed out for $18,000, 420.
Insane, unbelievable.
He can't talk. He cannot talk.
I was into the game for 5,500 and out for 22,500.
What? Smash the subscribe button right now if you guys have followed us through this entire journey. We appreciate it.
Thank you to everyone that watched live, to everyone that watched this, and to everyone that's watched everything. We love you guys.
Let's wrap it up. Let's go.